So I've read this a few times and I've been through it, and I've made some highlights on, because I thought about making this video on things that were relevant and that I wanted to say. I don't want to, I'm not going to go through everything. There's some things in here which is, it's quite personal history.
Wi-Fi disabled.
And that happened last time. But there is important information, so we're going to go through it. Here we go. Autism Spectrum Condition Diagnostic Assessment Report for me. Goes on about who the company are, consent for me, about how I was referred to their services, the methodology of the assessment. So the parts of the assessment that I had a face-to-face ADOS2 assessment. I told you about that. That was the thing with the frogs. So I completed that. I did an ADIR assessment, which was my mum. She mainly did it, and then I spoke to the lady afterwards. Then a clinical assessment with me, that was virtually, like video call. And then after that there was a multidisciplinary team review to conclude the diagnostic outcome in accordance with the DSM-5 criteria and treatment recommendations. Before I had those, I completed pre-qualifying questionnaires. I did Autism Spectrum Quotient 10, or the AQ10. I scored 9 out of 10 on that. Hospital Anxiety and Depression Scale. Anxiety, I scored 7, which is normal. I've always said that I always thought that I didn't really get anxiety, but I don't think I really knew how to define it. I didn't know what anxiety was, because I've always had social anxiety. Anything social is a real barrier for me to get myself through. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. Right, so depression, I scored 14, which is abnormal. Emotional quotient, which areas of support needs identified in the domains of self-awareness, handling emotions, self-motivation, using empathy, and practicing resilience. And then I did the camouflaging autism symptoms, the CAT-Q, and I scored a total of 132. Did I score 132? A total score of 132 meets the threshold of significantly high. So I scored 132. Meets the threshold of significantly high levels of camouflaging autistic symptoms in the domains of compensation, masking, and assimilation. I don't know what assimilation means. Compensation, so me having a sensitivity to something, and me doing something to compensate, to level myself out, maybe. I think, like stimming, clicking a pen or whatever, something, scrap, any kind of self-soothing action. Masking is where it's like pretending, like acting, I guess. You're always trying to present the best version of yourself, I think is a good way to say it, maybe. I don't know. Sensory profile assessment. Markedly high scores in low registration, sensory sensitivity, sensory avoidance. Markedly low score in sensation seeking. Now, adult ADHD self-report scale, I did that. I scored 17 in part A, and with 3 shaded answers, which does not meet the threshold for further assessment of ADHD. However, on the next page, it says there's an additional note, this is the diagnostic outcome. There's an additional note which says ADHD features were evident in clinical assessment, and I met the threshold within the ASRS screening for ADHD, warranting formal assessment. So I've been referred for an ADHD assessment, and we spoke about that in one of the parts of when my mum got interviewed, or whatever you want to call it. After that, I spoke to the lady, and she told me then about the ADHD. I had no idea. I don't think I know of ADHD. I guess I know a bit about it, but again, never entered my mind about it relating to me. But she told me about it then, and now I know what it is. Yes, I absolutely can see that.